Welcome, everybody. My name is Sheila Gold. I'm the Executive Director of Admissions and Recruitment for Tulane School of Professional Advancement. That's me right in the middle of the screen. I want to introduce a couple other people who you might know or should know and maybe have gotten to know through the admissions process. On the left of my picture is Suri Deitch, our dean. She often joins these webinars, mostly because she's very involved. Thank you. She's very involved in the recruitment process, and she really likes to know our students and get to develop relationships with them. So if you haven't met Dean Deitch, definitely do. She would enjoy meeting you. I have a picture of Hope Anderson, who is our admissions counselor. Many of you may have met Hope or emailed with Hope. She is very instrumental in helping move applications through the process. And then also on the call tonight in the background, making the magic happen, is my colleague Ann Conlon, and she is our events coordinator, and she also recruits for us too. So you might meet Ann somewhere along the way also. So that's sort of our admissions team, and we're thrilled that you're joining us tonight. So a little bit about the School of Professional Advancement. Tulane University, as you can see on this slide, Tulane University is made up of 10 smaller schools. So the entire university is made up of 10 schools, one of which is the School of Professional Advancement. And we have been around for about 130 years. The university is about 180 years old, and we're roughly 130 years old of that whole timeline. And we have always been the part of the university that opens its doors to working professionals and non-traditional students. So what I mean by that is if you're not the traditional sort of like out of high school, 18 years old, come to an undergraduate institution, we offer undergraduate degrees for those students. And then also our graduate degrees and graduate certificates, which you will hear about tonight, are specifically developed for working adults with workforce readiness in mind, meaning that our curriculum is the most current and will give you the competencies needed to get a job right now in the workforce. We also design our classes and our class structure to be flexible for working adults, meaning you don't have to have a full-time course load. You don't need to quit your job and go back to school. You can take 1 or 2 classes a semester, and all of our graduate programs are online courses. So you can take them at night and not have to drive to campus and sort of interrupt your work-life balance that way. So that's a little bit about SoPA and who we are. These are just some pictures if you've never been to campus. We like to show students that is our SoPA building, that orange one up on the top. And then the Where You Belong mural was actually designed by some of our digital media and design students. And they also painted it on the wall. That's kind of our logo for students, Where You Belong, because we love to have students come and just sort of hang out in that area, chat with us, meet with advisors, talk to each other. And so if you've never been to the campus, we'd love for you to come and do so. So we are going to talk tonight about our different programs, about the quality of our faculty, and also our different degrees. We'll talk a little bit about the admissions process and some other nuts and bolts about tuition. But we also wanted to show you a picture of the diploma that we hope that you all will be getting at the end of this whole process. So you can see Tulane University School of Professional Advancement, and then in the middle there, we've got the name of our mascot, Riptide the Pelican, but it will have your name at some point. You can substitute that out for your name. All right, next slide, please. So some of the more nuts and bolts of our presentation is we'll also talk about our student support. Student support is really important at SoPA. We're committed not only to getting students into the school, but we want to see you graduate and get that diploma that was on the previous slide. So we want to make sure that when our students come, that they are successful. And we'll talk in the next few slides about all the support that we offer our students. And then we'll also touch a little bit about some financing options and some discounts that we offer for certain groups of students and so on. All right, so these are more pictures of our faculty. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our faculty. So we feel like at SoPA, there's certain things that differentiate us from other schools. One of the things that we think differentiates us and differentiates us in a good way is the quality of our faculty. So like I said, we're the school for working adults, and all of our faculty are actually professionals in the field in which they teach. So you're actually learning from people who do the work that they're teaching you about. So for instance, Ralph Russo is the director of our cybersecurity and IT program. Ralph is a former NYPD officer, and he actually helped NYPD set up their cybersecurity unit after 9/11. So when he teaches you from experience. And he will bring in guest speakers of people that he knows that are still working. He is giving you all the information that will help you translate that onto your resume and help you get a job. Tyra Mitchell has her doctorate in physical therapy. She is a physical therapist. She's the former head of physical therapy at Ochsner, which is our big medical system here in Louisiana. And she is a professor of practice and also the assistant director of our kinesiology program. So these are just some examples of faculty who actually do what they teach. One more, Ashley Hand. She teaches in our Masters of Public Administration program, and she's the director of strategic communications, which is like speech writing and like public announcements, that sort of stuff that goes out for Kansas City. So when you learn from Ashley, you're learning from somebody who 5 days a week, 7 days a week, she actually works in public administration, and then she might teach you a class for a semester. So you're learning from the people who do the work. All right, so here's just a little quote. I feel like sometimes quotes work better than what I have to say. So Amanda Fennell is one of our professors of practice in information technology. And she says, as a cybersecurity leader, I feel it's vital to prepare our professionals through practical experience, which is why I incorporate my day job into my classes at night. So she takes all that experience that she has as a professional in IT and brings it into the classroom. You will have that throughout all of our programs and all of our certificate programs. So that's our faculty and how we think it's a little bit different. All right, so there's 2 different ways in the graduate programs that you can actually reach your educational goals. If you're interested in getting an entire master's degree, we offer those. And I'm going to walk you through sort of what those are and what we offer. And then for those of you who are like, I don't know if I have time to dedicate to getting a whole master's degree, you can also get graduate certificates. And graduate certificates are anywhere between 4 to 6 classes, and they give you very deep knowledge in like one subject area. So whereas a master's degree will give you deep knowledge over sort of a breadth of a type of curriculum, a graduate certificate will give you specific expertise. Now, what's interesting about our graduate certificates is that they actually stack into our master's degrees. So if you start with a graduate certificate, take your 4 to 6 classes and you're like, that was amazing. I loved it. I want to keep going. It was not that hard to juggle, work and school and all of those things. All of the credits from the graduate certificate actually apply to the master's. So one graduate certificate, you're actually 1/3 of the way through your master's. So you have that option of continuing further if you're interested, or just stopping at the graduate certificate. So there's 2 ways as we talk through what we offer for you to reach your goals. So let's talk about what those are. All right, so these are our master's degrees. We have lots of different options: cybersecurity management, emergency management, health and wellness, which is in our kinesiology program, homeland security studies, IT management, which is, we got a quote from Amanda a little bit earlier, sports studies, a Master of Liberal Arts, which is a very specific type of, it's almost like a make your own master's degree. You just have to take 30 credits in all sorts of different courses, but you get to sort of pick and choose. Our Masters of Public Administration, we just launched a Master of Art in Teaching for those of you who are interested in being a classroom teacher. And then we have a Master's of Education with 4 different specialties: equity-centered leadership, learning experience and design, special education, and teaching English learners. So same MED, but it has 4 different specialties. All right, so just a little bit about what I was saying. So you can see, we use little puzzle pieces, but I think you all get the point. So you can get one graduate certificate, which is one part of the puzzle piece, or you can add that into the larger puzzle and get the whole master's degree. So that's up to you. Like we said, you can or you can get your graduate certificate in as little as 1 semester. Some people stretch it out into 2, and it's less expensive than a degree, and it will give you deep knowledge in like one specific area. So if that's what you're looking for, that's a faster and cheaper way to achieve sort of your goal of getting the knowledge that you're searching for. All right, so what are our graduate certificates that I'm talking about? Well, here they are. They each fall into the areas that I just mentioned. So in emergency and security studies, we have the emergency management intelligence certificate, open source intelligence and security management in sports security certificates. In our IT program, we have cyber defense, cyber leadership. We do have a cyber technology fundamentals. That's a little bit different. That certificate is for students who are interested in our IT masters, but do not have any IT or computer science experience. You can come take our cyber technology fundamentals, which I think is 5 classes. Once you take those 5 classes, you will have all the knowledge you need to be successful, and then you apply to the master's program. So that's how that works. You can see our kinesiology program has a multitude of certificates as well: corporate wellness, health leadership, sports management, sports coaching. Our K-12 education program has so our K-12 education program has certificates that correlate to the MED. So you can get the full MED if you want to get the full master's degree, or if you just want a certificate in the specific specialties: special ed, equity-centered leadership, leadership learning and experience, or experience design, and teaching English learners. And that's for folks who might already have a master's in education, or you're just interested in getting the certificate. And then our public administration program has 3 certificates: economic development, environmental management and resilience, and nonprofit and strategic philanthropy. So if you just want to come back and get, experience 4 to 6 classes in nonprofit and philanthropy management, you can do that. You don't have to get the whole MPA. All right, next slide, please. Right. So another thing that we think is a differentiator in a positive way for our program is that we actually have a very different online learning experience. Our online learning is designed to be interactive, meaning you work in small groups, you get to know your classmates, you also interact with the curriculum and the lessons. And you get an opportunity to create relationships. We also have a lot of simulations that mimic real world scenarios that students can sort of have an experience of sort of going through the simulation and coming up with solutions to scenarios, interactive activities, and of course, lots of access to different professionals in the field that you're studying. We also try and have our lessons be tailored for different learning styles. So some of it might be reading and responding to something. Some of it might be a tabletop exercise where you work through a real life experience. Some of it might be watching videos. Others might be listening to something. So if you're an auditory learner, a visual learner, an experiential learner, there should be curriculum tailor-made to your learning style. So students tend to feel like they're able to digest the curriculum in ways that make sense to them. All right, so 2 examples of how our interactive learning might be a little bit different than what you may have experienced or heard about. Our students do not just click through PowerPoints and then like upload a post to a discussion board. 2 examples of how our learning is interactive is several of our courses actually take place in the metaverse. So students will have interactive simulations where you can log into the lesson, create an avatar for yourself, and work through some sort of challenge or scenario as the avatar, come up with a solution, and then upload that solution to be graded by your professor. Another way that we make our curriculum sort of accessible to folks who are on the go and maybe can't sit down in front of a computer for 2 hours and do homework is oftentimes our professors will have podcasts that have the curriculum. So you can listen to a lesson 30 minutes in the car, another 30 minutes of the lesson while you're, preparing dinner, another 45 minutes maybe while you exercise or take the dog for a walk. It's just a different way to get the information. And of course, if you're an auditory learner, that's really going to be exciting for you because listening to the lesson is the way that you learn. So those are different ways that students can interact as opposed to just like kind of a stale PowerPoint sort of activity. All right, so one of the things I talked about is how we support our students, and we feel very strongly about the support that we give to our students. All students have 2 advisors. You have an academic advisor, and this person gets assigned to you as soon as you're admitted to the university. They can help you register for classes, tell you what courses you might have transfer over from other schools, so you'll know how many courses you have left to take. They can help you decide how many courses to take a semester. They'll help you know when you're getting close to graduation and apply for graduation certification. So that's what your academic advisor does. Then you will also have a faculty advisor, and these are faculty members. And like I said, all of the faculty members work in the field in which they're teaching. So you will have somebody who can be a mentor to you, who can help you with the job search, who can help you decide. You might be taking a couple classes that you absolutely love. And you can go to the faculty member and say, out of all the stuff I've taken, these 2 or 3 classes really interest me the most. And they can help you and say, well, then you should be applying for jobs in this area or asking to do specifically these types of things. So they can help you in that way. Also, we have our own dedicated career advisor at SoPA. We do not share her with any other part of the school, and she's there to help you put your resume together, your LinkedIn page. She does webinars like this where she'll have industry professionals come and talk about their jobs so that you can learn more about what different positions and industries do. And then also she oftentimes will get job postings from locally and also around the country, and she pushes those out to our student body. So our students, I would say, once a week get a job posting. So when you're getting close to looking for a job, you'll be getting those pushed out through our career advisor. And oftentimes SoPA students will get a chance to apply earlier than other people out in the community. All right. One other thing that I want to point out is that we offer for our students what we call credit for prior learning. And at the graduate level, you can you can get credit for up to 6 credits, which is 2 classes, and that's a savings of over $7,000. But credit for prior learning is this. If you have experience professionally, and you have to take a class for your graduate degree. And you're like, look, I could teach the class probably. I know this, I've worked in this field. I absolutely know every one of the learning objectives on the syllabus. You can go to your professor and go to your advisor and say, I would like to get credit for this class because I have the professional knowledge already. And there's a process that you can go through where you can demonstrate that you know all the learning objectives on the syllabus, and you can receive up to 6 credits, which is 2 classes. So that's something to take advantage of. It can save you time and money towards your degree. All right, so let's talk a little bit about tuition. So our tuition rate is $1,210 per credit hour, and all of our courses are 3 credit hours. If you, however, we have one little caveat. If you're interested in the Masters of Art in Teaching, that is actually at the undergraduate rate, which is $623 per credit hour. That's the only exception. We do offer several different 20% tuition discounts. So if you fall into any of these categories, you should definitely keep that in mind. If you are active duty or a veteran, if you are a PTK, Phi Theta Kappa member, which is the honor society for junior colleges, if you are a K through 12 teacher, if you're a public employee in Orleans Parish, if you're an adult over 60, if you're a Tulane alum or an alumni of a minority serving institution like an HBCU or HSI, or if you're active or retired safety personnel, meaning if you are an EMT or a police officer, first responder, we offer 20% tuition discounts for all of those categories. And then, of course, students apply for financial aid. Tulane does offer federal grants and loans. So you should fill out your FAFSA form, which is the federal form for financial aid. If anybody here is transferring from another institution, we have a $1,500 transfer student scholarship that you just have to submit a piece of paper for, and we can offer you that. And if you register for your first semester by an early enrollment deadline, which we'll go over in a minute, you can get $500 off your very first semester of tuition. So that's just an easy way to kind of get your paperwork in, get registered, and get a little bit of a financial break your first semester. For those of you who are interested in the Masters of Art in Teaching and will end up teaching in Orleans Parish, we also have a full tuition seed scholarship, which you can learn more about. So if anybody is interested in the seed grants, reach out to us after the Shanwa is interested in seed. So reach out to us, Shanwa, after this, and we can connect you with the folks in our teacher prep program. And then, great, Joelle, I'm glad the word's getting out there. Oh, Amy, terrific. All right, y'all reach out to me afterwards. You'll get my email address, and I'll hook you up with the folks from teacher prep, and they can tell you more about it. All right. Yay. All right. Next. All right. So here is our application process. So our application is an online application. It lives on our website. So go to sopa.tulane.edu. You can see that that email address or that web address. There's a big button at the top that says apply. Click the apply button. You all are interested in graduate programs, so pick graduate. It'll give you an option. It'll say, are you applying for undergraduate or graduate? Pick graduate, and then it will open you up to the application. There are several different components of our graduate applications. So there is a $50 application fee. That application fee actually gets waived if you attend a webinar. So we will automatically waive your fee. If you have already applied and paid that fee, email me after this and I can refund it for you. It's very easy to do, so don't be shy about emailing me. It's your $50. You should have it back. We also will need a copy of a current government ID. For most people, that's simply taking a picture of your driver's license or a passport, uploading that to the application. We will need transcripts from any school from which you've received college credits. So you can send those to us by US mail or electronically. We prefer electronic, it's faster, and they tend not to get lost in the mail that way. And also for most of our graduate applications, we will need a writing sample and a resume. The good news is that we do not require the GRE or any standardized test score for our graduate applications. So with all of this said, we feel like our application is kind of straightforward, but students have questions all the time, which is great. So once again, feel very comfortable reaching out to me, reaching out to Hope, getting your questions answered. We want to help you through this process. All right, so some deadlines. So we are currently accepting applications. Our next enrollment deadline is for summer. That application deadline is May 1. Although if you've already applied or are thinking of applying, go ahead and do that quickly. If you register for classes by April 25th, you will get the $500 early enrollment scholarship for your first semester. If you're interested in the fall term, that application deadline is August 1, but once again, don't wait that late. Go ahead and get it in. We're accepting the application. We read them on a rolling basis. And if you register by June 1, you'll get the early enrollment scholarship. And then if you don't want to start until January, that application deadline is January 1. But once again, go ahead, apply now, get admitted. And then if you register for classes by December 1, you'll get that early enrollment scholarship. So there's no reason not to. You know, if we can help you sort of lighten the financial load a little bit the first semester, that would be good for you and good for us. All right, so that is kind of the nuts and bolts of the webinar. My contact information is right there, sgold@tulane.edu. There is also a phone number. I always tell people, do not call me. I am rarely next to my phone, but I'm almost always in front of some sort of email, whether it's the computer or my phone. So definitely email me, and I am happy to answer any questions. It looks like Anne has been answering questions in the chat, but if anybody has other questions, you can drop them in there. For those of you who are interested in the seed grant, definitely email sgold@tulane and say, hi, it's on the webinar. I'm interested in the seed grant. I will include the program director in the email and get you all connected, and they can kind of help you with that process. So that'll be great. Email who for seed? Me, Amy. Email sgold@tulane.edu, and I'll connect you with the right people. And let's see, does anybody else have any other questions? Let's see. Okay. All right, so Karen, email me directly so that I can answer that offline. There is not a code for the application waiver. We automatically waive your fee if you've attended this webinar. And if you've already paid the fee, just email me, sgold@tulane.edu. It's on the screen right now at the bottom of the screen. And I can refund the fee if you've already paid it. Anything else? Okay. All right. So once again, Karen, email me directly, sgold@tulane.edu. All right. Well, it looks like, let's see, we have one more. We'll do. Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being on the webinar. We really appreciate it. And we certainly hope that we'll see your application and be welcoming you as students to Tulane very soon. So thank you. Have a great night, everyone. And we appreciate you being here.
Bye.
Bye, thanks.